welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all well, and we're cracking on. So I've just been tightening up all the fuel fittings that we fit the other night. So I'm on with that, and then I'm just also doing this, which is the top hat. I'm butchering it up. Cord a hole out, which is a little bit bigger at the top there. This one here. I'm just making some more cuts just down the bottom there, just to get them fuel lines so they're not snagged on them or rubbing against anything. I will put some rubber, sort of edging around that as well to stop it all rubbing. I've just sent the girl off, Emma. She's just rushed out with a VP fuel, jerry can, and she is on her way to Sainsbury's to get some V-power for me, because we are trying to start Ronda up with the new fuel lines. So I'm trying to get this fuel hat on, get this thing back on, and then hopefully, with a bit of luck, I haven't got a throttle cable or a pedal box, but she will fire up. Fingers crossed, we will see. Clear out all the fuel lines, so I'll take the fuel line off just before the filter, all the cuts and everything that we've been doing, and then we'll flush it out into like a little tub or whatever we've got kicking around. So that's what we're on with. Other things, I need to get the ECU back in, obviously, it's not going to start, and the main fuse box. So there is 3 sort of jobs we need to do before we can get that fired up. But we're on it. I'll crack on with this little cutting jobby. Girl returns with fuel. Job well done. Thank you very much, MLR. Right, let's get this in here. Thank you, Steve, for letting me borrow your jerry can. Oh, there we go. I think you undo that. It lets more air in. Well, there's no puddle on the floor. That's a good start, isn't it? So we've got Sainsbury's Finest, Supreme Unleaded. Let's go. Job done. Right, so this is the what we've modified. Just rounded all this off, cut this out here, rounded that corner, give that a bit of a dent in there, just so that it gives you a bit of room for this fuel fitting coming out. So just give this another little coat of paint. Should be about there with that. And then obviously at a later date I'll have to start making some covers for this round circle and then this bit here. But there is a rubber grommet that lives here as well, but I'll make a square that rivets in, something like that. Job done. Okay, so just been making these, getting these brackets ready. Putting riv nuts in them for them. As you can see, some nice riv nuts to mount the ECU on this side. Fuse box goes back in on this side. So there's some electrical connectors just under here. Zip tie them up out the way. I'll snip that zip tie off and we'll get them back in. Right, so back in here, we're just making a bit of progress. So these wires are to tidy up, but we've got the ECU back mounted in. Just putting this main fuse box in now. So this is what would have lived in under the dash. So I've always put it in the footwell in here just so that it's out the water and whatnot. So I'm just going to click these back in, and then I'll put some more riv nuts in here for that. So there's one there, and then one just under there, ready for the bracket to go in. So we'll get that in, and then shouldn't be too far. Right, there we go. We've got everything back in. Fuse box all back in. ECU. I'm not even going to lie, that was a struggle and a half. So put a bit of fuel in the tank before. Need to get these back on just because it absolutely reeks of fuel. And then they're the electrical connectors for the fuel pump and the top hat. I'm just going to grab that now. Right, there we go. We've got that top hat all sorted. Got a nice little rubber surround on here and on there as well. Ready to go back in. Job's a good one. Right, so we're making a bit of progress. So we've got that back in there. And like I said, I will have to make a little bit of a seal for there and then one for there, but these will get zip tied nicely together and they will root down and all the way to the front. So I've got that back in. That's quite cool. So this is the battery one, which will also get zip tied to it. I've got some black sheathing coming for this to make it a little bit nicer. So I'm thinking the battery's going to live back here again. So this is what we have. These are just some black bits of Foamex. And what I used to do with this was, let's just open this up. Bear with it. So this is my new battery box. Quite a nice MIG welded thing. Well, TIG welded, shall I say. But what I used to do is just put a bit of Foamex just under there, just to, keep the battery nice. So before we do anything, let's just try this and see if it actually fits. Because the dimensions said they did. There's absolutely no chance of that fitting in there. Balls. Well, that's nuts, isn't it? Because I measured that. And the measurements of this said it would fit that. So I will have to investigate that. As we can see, top of the roof. Bits are all getting back on now. So this bucket, rubbish. That bucket has just got nothing much left in it. We've got the fire bottle there. I'll grab that little thing just in case you go somewhere. We've got this fire bottle here. We've got some bonnet pins. So I'll put that out. That's the old spill kit, so I don't think we need that anymore. We've got a nice shiny new one in the boot. So I'll put that in the do not need pile. And then we've got steering wheel and wheel hub to go on. We've got TRS harnesses to get back in the car, so we'll put them there. I think we're getting somewhere near. So there's exhaust shields down here, they need to go on, so first thing tomorrow we're going to put exhaust back on. There's some lights down there to swap these, because they're knackered, as you can see. I've just put the exhaust, the fuel filler back on, the cover, black cover there, to stop stones and stuff smacking the tubes. But I think we're making progress. Quite a bit back in the car today, so ECU and fuse box and whatnot, that's all in. Next up is to get the pedal box back in. So I'll bring that tomorrow and start reconnecting brake lines and stuff like that, and braking clutch lines. So there's a little bit of, I'm going to use the same mounting position that I did for the pedal box, but then obviously slide it forward into that recess. So I'll do that, stick some little tack welds on it, take it back out, and then buzz all underneath it, and then it'll be obviously a lot further forward. But like I say, we're making progress. The pile is going down of things that are to go back on her. So I'll have a good day on her tomorrow. Got to go to the bakery and do a little bit of work in the morning. But yeah, she's getting somewhere. So that's going to be it for tonight, and we will rejoin tomorrow. Morning everybody, next day. So we've got a bit of a lead on some new rear lower control arms. So I'm going to go and pick them up today, hopefully. They'll come off the car easy. My mate does bang racing. It's called Mark Shaw. Thank you very much, Mark, if you're watching. So I'm going to go and get them later on today. I've also got the pedal box with me and some seat brackets, and brought the welder with me, so we'll tack weld that in later on. Jobs are good in. Now then, we're back in the garage. Day 2 of fuel lines. We have just put the battery on there. Got these all connected up. I'll just move the top out of the way at the minute because we're just checking for fuel leaks and whatnot. So we are just about to do a bit of a ignition. Are you ready, Steve? Ready. So there's the fuel pump fire up. No leaks. No leaks. Bone dry at the minute. Try number 1, and she's bone dry. Look at that. It's like we've done it before or something. But it's got a drip here. Oh, now he says. No, it's not really. Yeah, we're right. Yeah, it's all dry, yeah. Should we do another one? We'll do one more. 3, 2, 1. Nothing. Bloody winner. Right, let's get this top hat back on and on to the next job. Exhaust, so we can fire her up.
There's a little bit of something there, maybe.
Just in the engine bay.
You see it, look.
Let's have a goose. Yeah, that could be a little bit of a wet spot, but keep an eye on that. But it also could be a bit of brake cleaner that I might have sprayed on. But looking at all these, These are all
They're all
nice,
dry.
aren't they? They're all dry. Oh, you'll soon see a fuel leak. It's quite a high pressure
You can
thing.
smell it, though. It doesn't smell like fuel.
Yeah. No, we're good, aren't we?
I think, if anything, just maybe that. But
That filter.
that is leaking.
It is.
Yeah, you can see it's dripping in on these pipes, on these cables.
Ah, right, okay. What, from the fuel?
Only a little bit.
I've not tried it, to be fair. So we'll get get big spanner on it, and we'll spin that back together.
Smell it. Petrol.
Smell my finger. Right, we'll give that a bit of a tighten up. There we go. So we've just been having a little play with fuel lines. There was a little tiny leak on the filter, but with that, I think I uncracked that when I was actually fitting the fuel line. So probably my fault that. But I'll just spin round. So this is what was leaking just then. So we nipped that up. But everything else seems pretty dry. So what we're going to do next is get the exhaust on. With this, I'm going to rubber mount some of this sort of stuff so it's not chaffing. But it does actually naturally sit there quite nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got a nice home there.
Yeah, so what I'll do is rubber line some of this and put some foam rubber and put a nice...
It's even got like a ready-made hole to bolt something.
Well, that's what the filter was there before. So this is that's where it did live before, yeah. So it does... whether we put it there, so that's suspended or whatnot. But that's the only thing on the fuel line now that needs sorting out. We'll put the top hat back on, but we'll get the exhaust on. Job's good in. Okay, so we are now under Ronda. I don't know if you can see. Hang on, let me put this light on. There we go. Heat shield back on. That is right where if that heat shield wasn't on, you'd be able to feel it in the car, put it that way. And then there's one back here, quite a biggish one, and that's to stop melting the handbrake cables, that's what I'm trying to say. And then a bit there to keep the heat away from the fuel tank, but there is a cover to go on this as well, so job is a good one. I do think it's been a bit of a twist in the past, so we'll give it a bit of manipulation and get her back to where she lives. And get the exhaust back on. Okay, so out with the old firing and in with a shiny new one. And then we've got a couple of new springs to get on there as well. Job's a good one. I've just been rooting outside for some exhaust paste, and I just thought I found this heat shrink stuff. So I've put a little bit on there. I've always not been happy with this the handbrake cable of how it looks. So that's going to be a nice bit of heat shrink on there. And then there's another bit of heat shrink on this red cable that was red, now black. Just enough, look at that, just a tiny bit out in the end, just ready for the connector to go on. So, job is a good one. That looked nice and neat, like I said, with all heat shrink. I haven't got a heat gun right now, so I can't even shrink this up, so I can't even give you the satisfaction of, when you shrink it all on, it all goes really nice. But anyway, it'll look better eventually. So, job is a good one. Anyway, back to fitting exhaust. I don't know if you can see right well, but I've just got this new red exhaust hanger on there. She still is a bit swingy, but I think we've got another one. Obviously, this needs a bit of tidying up and whatnot. And then there's an exhaust clamp here. So I'm not sure. I don't really like that. We have had experience with this before. I have punched a hole in the tank with another exhaust clamp, so I'm going to turn that, I think, a little bit. But anyway, she's on. Right, so been a bit of a struggle with exhaust. I found that it slipped back too far. I think that's where it's supposed to sit, because when you get to this curve here, it's touching a heat shield. So I just quickly pulled it back off. Excuse me. I'm going to undo this. As you can see, it's been leaking out of there. So I'm going to clean that join up, and then clean the end up there, and we're going to have a proper exhaust sealant, and should be all right for future. So, all right, got to get a bit carried away. Took this to bits. It has been leaking like a trooper. I don't know why, but the join is a bit crap. It's kind of ovalised and got a high spot there. So we will put a bit of this stuff in. Clean that up nice though. That's all cleaned up nicely. If I want to get a bit carried away with it, you could start doing all this, but it's a rally car at the end of the day, and I can't be bothered. There we have it. One exhaust fitted. Got the new springs and firing in there. Move the thing that way. There we go. all nice and tight up there, so it's not going to catch on anything. Job is a good one. Okay. Next, so now we've got the exhaust on. Are you ready, Emma? Fire up for the first time.
Are you going to do it now?
Do it right now.
Do you want me to hold your camera?
No. That's the fuel pump.
Woo!
She's a runner. Obviously the throttle cable's not in because the pedal box is out of there at the minute. She's a runner with the new fuel lines in. I'm happy. Oh, got it dropping off. First time fire up. On the button, first time. Gotta love a Honda. Next job on the list is to paint these, which are the upstands for the pedal box. I was going to try and buzz that in tonight, but just looking outside, it is absolutely pissing down. So we'll crack on with this anti-roll bar for now. We've got the anti-roll bar all here ready. I've just taken these two screws out of here. There's 4 of them. I need to clean them up because I put them in to stop the threads getting. I'll let that run now. To stop the threads getting all gummed up in there when I did this coating. So I've got these to sort out as well, haven't I? So we'll get these cleaned up. Bit of Y wheel. There we go. Got all those cleaned up. Using Steve's little Y wheel again. And M is on the plastic window trim. Thanks, girl. Taking all the silicone off it. Well, let's get these back on. There we go. All nice and new. Rear anti-roll bars back on. Happy days. Looking good. So I'm not going to bother connecting this drop link in a minute. Same on the other side because these are going. And today we have managed to secure some new bottom lower control arms from Mark Shaw. Thank you very much if you're watching this. So those are for those spherical bushings to go in. So job is a good one. Em's been cleaning that window trim up and she's looking at how to actually fit it right now. Oh, and Steve's back. All right. Right, so we have just got the pedal box mounted in. So we've got these upstands. These will get painted properly tomorrow. Well, so we've got the pedal box right back into that recess. I'm going to have to just check the banjo bolts tomorrow, make sure that they all fit in that bit there. But what I'll do is I'll tack weld that just onto there, then these will bolt in and out as one complete unit then. So that'll be a lot easier, won't it? But yeah, so that's ready for tomorrow. So welding jobs. So that's a welding job. There is spherical bearings to do in the front and then the rear control arms and stuff in the back. Oh, well, that is going to be it for the theme tonight. Been a long day, been at the bakery, it's Saturday. Say night, everybody.
Night.
Night. We'll be back tomorrow. Now then, everybody, next day, just made our way from the bakery again, straight to Steve and Candy's house. We're back on Ronda, and this time we brought the welder. So, like I said, we're going to do a bit of tacking on those. Got a bit dark, bear with me. We're going to tack that pedal box in, ready to pull back out the car and weld up fully, as well as suspension arms and stuff. So I'll just keep chipping away at it, I suppose. But we've tied it up a bit down here. There's not much left to go back on the car, so that's pretty cool. Job is a good one. Right, let's crack on. So just wet an old dust sheet just to stop the weld bond going everywhere. But we've got that all cleaned up there, and that all cleaned up there. So we're ready to tack weld. Right, so we've got some tacks on there, 2 little ones there, 2 little ones on that side. So I'm going to disassemble the whole thing, so unbolt it back out the car, and then weld it out the car. Take this little clamp off, and we'll get our weld on. So just got her outside to the welding bench, aka gravel. So stay in Caroline's back garden, very nice. They're literally currently getting ready to head off to Isle of Man to go and watch the classic TT, but I'm on it yet. So I'm just going to go inside in a minute, just nip this up. I'm going to put a little tack here, possibly one on the inside as well, but then I'm just going to undo all these bolts, take the pedal box off so that these seals in this master cylinders don't go knackered, because that wouldn't be good. And then all these rubbers and everything, nylon lock nuts, so they'll all be out the way, and then I can properly burn this in. So on with that now. Got her all cleaned up with a wire wheel, so she's all nice and ready for buzzing round here and in here as well. And then on the flip side, come along here, down the side there, so she will be nice and strong. So we're just going to nip to Wicks, just go and grab some paint. Right, we're back from Wicks. Got this metal primer as well. I've got some shorter M10s for the bolting in the pedal box so that they don't hit the top tubes. And I've got some more Domed. Need them various places around the car, but anyway, let's get on back to welding her up. So by no means am I a welder, I don't rank to be, but we've got some glue on her. There we go. Probably not the prettiest weld in the world, but got them on the top side of it. I'm just holding this with gloves because it's a bit warm still. But yeah, it's not so bad, is it? Quite a consistent run through there and on the side there. I'm happy with it anyway. Oh, it's just hellish warm, so happy days. Get them cleaned up, give it a bit of paint. Job's a good one. So there we go. Hope Caroline doesn't mind, but we're just borrowing her laundry line. So yeah, I've got a bit of primer on it, all looking nice and sharp. Happy days. Paint next. There we go. We've got some black on her. I do like that plasticoaty paint. It does cover right well. Got like a nice sort of hard plastic finish once it has all dried up, without having to go to the powder coaters. So job's a good one. Got a little bit on the bottom of here as well, and just tied the edges up just to give that a bit more of a anti-rust finish. But let that dry and we'll get it back on. So next on the job list, we're going to have a go at reinstalling the anti-stone chip on the rear quarter. So I'll just spin the camera around. This is what I'm talking about. There's a piece of mud flat material that goes here, so I've just got to drill these old rivets out, and then I've got some new. Steve's kindly let me have some black mud flat material, so I'll trace it out and we'll go again. So we'll I've got to drill some new holes in the bottom of here, because obviously that's that new patch panel that I put in. So let's go. So here we have it. This is the new black one, shiny black, and this is the new one, well, the old one. So I need to template round, and hopefully that fits nice. So just cut around this, template it out. Oh, actually, it's just missed there. I'll turn around and do it that way then. That's better. Happy days. We'll crack on. So there's my template. Just put a bit of padding down so I don't drill through the worktop. And I've got the new one here. So that's all nicely drilled. Put a few extra ones at the front here now as well. And all along the top, along the bottom. So those top ones should marry up with these lines that are already in the bodywork. So happy. Right, so there we have it. Got the nice new black one on, got all the rivets in all the way around it. We're just starting to put this sill on now. There is some rivets underneath that go, as you can see. It's been a bit of a gravel rash in the past, and this is a bad area. But because I've reconstructed this back bit, this is just needing snicking off there, then that can go back. So I'll just alter that now with a little diagram, I think. And then we'll put some rivets underneath and job to go in. This side will be done. Happy days. Sill back on. Got some nice rivets in there, as you can see. Nice big black dome ones, or big flat, what do you call it, like washer rivets. I've just re-drilled the factory drain hole in there too, because it should have been in there. It has all got cavity wax in there too, so should be, job's a good one. On to the other side. I've got the other side back on. Hey, she's looking all right. Next, so there was a bundle of wires curled up here on the dashboard, and they run up this A pillar, and then they spurred off for this LED light here, and then the earth for it is there. So I've done that, connected that up, and then there is, I don't know if you can see it from here, but there's a map light just on a clip under there, earth locally up there as well. So then the cables run around here, and then they run around here. So there is a GoPro switch on the dashboard, that red button just there. So that's there's a cable for that. There's a cable for the intercom with an earth as well, and then there's a light back there too for the boot. And then that should be the end of the wiring, this little loom here. So I've just been doing that. Also putting this roll cage protection, so you know, on your head when you're getting in and out, and helmets and whatnot. So I've been putting that on. That's all zip tied and nicely in place. So I'll just get this wiring finished off, and then hopefully get this on for the last time. Get that out of the way, and then yeah, like I said, put that on for the last time and get it all sealed up. So around there, so then that's done. So then I think wiring on the wiring front is just for this bird nest here. But I do need to get the decide what footplate I'm putting on the Navigator, whether I'm buying a new one or using the old one and sprucing it up a bit. To be continued on that, because this purple wire just here is the horn button on the on there, so I need to get that fitted before I can sort this out. But yeah, just coming along now. So just get this wiring sorted out, and then I'll jump back in. There we go. That's all the wiring back in. So that's the GoPro cable. That's the charge cable. Got the little charger up there. Little earth just up there. Backlight all wired up. Next. Right, we're winning. So we've got that all nicely sealed up. Got some nice rivets around there, and there's another cover that you can hardly see it, to be fair, can you? So job done. All nicely sealed up. If scrutineers do get a bit pinicky, we can put some silicone around there if we really need to, but it is tight as hell on the fitting. So happy days. On to the next. Okay, so next things, I'm just seeing if these fit. So I'm just literally putting them, resting them in place at the minute. This thing, I think, will use the old mounting holes, so exactly where the other one was, so that's cool. And I think there's a bit of a gap between here. The Navi was requesting a little slot down here to put a Navi bag, which I think will work quite well. And then this big thing is going to be probably there, because I don't know, there's not really a right lot of room behind here. Toolkit goes there, batteries on this side. There's not really much place, unless it goes behind the passenger seat, but Navi seat's normally as far back as possible, so might just be looking at that. So, because on this year, there's got to be nozzles in the driver's and passenger side of the car, and then under the bonnet. So there's 4 to put in. I'll have to consult the blue book on that. So yeah, anyway, just mocking these up. But I think that's how it's going to live. And then foot plate in the middle, I think. But I think we're going to call it for today on that one. Steve and Caroline
I'm going to the Isle of Man.
is off to Isle of Man to watch the Isle of Man Classic TT, so that should be quite a good... Are you going to get any footage?
Yeah, probably.
Right, so Steve's promised, it's on camera, he's going to get some footage for us.
I might not film a minute, but I'll film something.
So, it doesn't matter, we'll stick some footage in.
Yeah.
So we'll do Steve and Kaz cam. So they're heading on the boat tonight at what time?
Midnight, effectively. Sail at 2.
Sail at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Turn up at 6. Find a McDonald's for breakfast, because that's the law.
That's the law.
And then set the van up, put the awning up, and then probably the forecast rain tomorrow. So
Oh,
I'm going to
really?
the Isle of Man Motor Museum tomorrow, I think.
Oh, cool.
Something different.
Well, that'd be nice if you can get a bit of footage.
Well, yeah, on the one.
Yeah,
It's something different, isn't
it is, definitely,
it?
yeah.
And if you know the Isle of Man, you get a really nice view of the prison, because that's where it is.
Not
I'm not
Not
joking, it actually is.
that we want to be there anyway. Well, that's going to be it for this one. We will see you on the next one. If you do want some flapjack, it's thewildbakery.co.uk.
Hey, should we have a competition? I'm going to wear my Andy Wild rallying hoodie. And if anyone spots me that doesn't know me, are we going to send him some flapjack?
Yeah, can do. on a man.
What's the chance somebody's going to come up to me and go, I've seen you on Underworld Rallying?
Yeah, there we go.
It's not Liam Whiteley Motorsport.
So this is what Steve looks like, just so we know. But yeah, all right then. Yeah, we'll do that. If you fancy, if anybody sees Steve and Caroline on the Isle of Man, we'll send you some flapjack. Say hello.
Only if you say hello.
Only say hello. Click the subscribe button, and like I say, if you do want some flapjack, here's the advert.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.